Wealthy New Yorkers, at least those that haven't run away yet, better look out because New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani's administration just published a searchable database of property owners who could, and the emphasis is on could, fall under the state's new pied-à-terre tax, covering every non-primary residence in the 5 boroughs worth north of $1 million. A spokesperson for the city's Department of Finance tells Fox Digital the publication of the property roll was required by state law. Now, Kevin, I see something very sinister going on. Mamdani knows that he can't use the New York City Police Department as kind of a red guard. As long as we are still a constitutional republic, he can't do that. But he still can stir up the mob. He can still, he's publicly said he wants demonstrations outside. We had horrible demonstrations here, anti-Israel, anti-Jewish, I would add, demonstrations a couple of years ago, closed Grand Central, et cetera. Isn't that what he's about? He's just trying to stir up the mob here by doxing some of these people. And we should mention, some of these people don't even qualify for being on that list.
100%. I think this is entirely politically motivated. Obviously, the policy is terrible just from a substantive standpoint. The doxing is terrible. If any of you have been doxed, you know that's not a fun thing to be on the receiving end of. He should have been much more careful as the mayor of a city with a lot of VIPs about that. It's a very big issue for us at Heritage. But the real key, I think, David, is the political side. And I'm going to say something that might be, at least on the surface, a little heterodox. I don't think those of us on the right take this guy seriously enough. I think he's dangerous. I think he's smart. I think he's smarmy and all of those things that rub us the wrong way. But my concern is this. Every poll after poll this year shows that when you ask Americans the open-ended question, what are the issues that matter to you? A majority of voters 18 to 34 in age say housing and affordability. A majority of male voters 18 to 49 say housing and affordability. I'm not at all suggesting that Mamdani is the answer to that. But as we persist, in Washington especially, but in some state capitals on the political right, without a robust, ambitious, even audacious alternative as conservatives to what Mamdani is offering on housing and affordability, we are going to get our clocks cleaned. It's time for policymakers.
Jackie, though, it really does concern me where he wants this to go and where he has the capacity to take this. In Nicaragua, for example, the Sandinistas had things called Turbas Divinas, the divine mob, that they would use. It was not judicial. It was not part of the government. It was very, very kind of haphazard, but they'd use it to target political enemies. Doesn't it sound like this is bad?
It sounds like that, and it feels like that. And there's part of this that, to me, is kind of going on the border of wealth confiscation, because you're going to have certain people that are not residents here that might get flagged in the system. They're so wealthy, they're just going to pay it. But there are going to be a lot of people that are mistakenly flagged in this system too. And what happens is this is a shoot first, ask questions later kind of policy from this mayor. So he's going to shoot first, and if it's a mistake, the burden of proof is on you, the citizen, to fight him. Now, I have disputed things with the Department of Finance before. It is a very obtuse, difficult process that will literally drive you mad, and it will go on for years and years, and then they will tell you, if you can't handle it, go hire an attorney. So now you have to spend money to go hire an attorney to fight them for some more years. It's really unfair to put the burden on people who want to dispute this. I've read up about this, exactly how they're doing it. The deadlines are unrealistic. You were supposed to have gotten a letter in the mail already, and you've got till August 24th to come up with, to understand, to navigate the system, which I tried to do today and is nearly impossible. File your appeal, and then be able to correspond with them. And by the time they look at your appeal, the billing will have already been done. So I don't even know how that works. You have to pay and look for a refund. The whole thing is a nightmare.
Yeah, Brian, it's class war. He is trying to light the fire of a class war here, right?
Yes. So there are way more names on this list than we thought, right?
Yeah.
And we thought, well, maybe that's an accident. You know, he just kind of cast a wide net. I don't think so, because I think the whole point of this thing is to target people who are independent. They're financially independent, and they think independently, and he wants them out. So your house is worth $700,000 in Staten Island. You probably have some level of independence. Goodbye. We're going to put you on the list. You get out of here. It's not the $5 million house. He wants to kill independence because people who think independently fight government control, and he's all about government control.
I want to talk to a lawyer for a second. I mean, you're one as well, Jackie, but the fact is that you really, there must be some legal alternative to what's happening here. I mean, doesn't some of it strike you as illegal, what he's trying to do? At the very least of which is you're innocent until proven guilty.
I mean, some of this reminds me of how there are a lot of lawsuits around the California wealth tax because it's retroactive and they, you know, I think they're going to try to put it to a vote and hopefully have Gavin Newsom. I think he wants to veto it, right? Or he already did. So I don't know the way New York City law works, if this was supposed to go through voters or if he can just say, here, we're doing this. The only thing I'll give him a little credit, and I don't want to give them too much credit, if you want to appeal it, you just have to show a lease and a utility bill.
Taylor?
I know.
Showing them that and getting them to recognize that is nearly impossible. Okay. I've read about this for other issues. People have been fighting the city for years while they continue to bill you for things that you're entitled to. And it is incredibly frustrating.
It was bad before Mamdani. Now you have the head of housing, a woman who has said that private property is white privilege.
They purposely make it frustrating so you go away.
Yeah.
All right.